How to draw hands. You want to start by finding a good reference on Pinterest. And if you can't find what you're looking for, you can always take a picture of your own hands in the pose that you need. And you definitely want to start with the more simpler poses. Now, any hand can be treated as 3 separate shapes: the palm, the fingers, and the thumb. So the second step is drawing out those shapes, the 3 shapes. And yes, we're going to treat these 4 fingers as one shape. Now the thumb is going to be a more complicated shape, but you always want to pay attention to where that thumb ends in relation to the rest of the hand. Let's draw these shapes on our page. One tip is to always pay attention to the length of the lines in relation to each other. You can always tell that this line is longer, this one's shorter. Always compare the length of the lines visually to each other to see if you're drawing the proportions correctly. Once that is done, we can map out the fingers and also pay attention to where the knuckle is on this line. Also, you can pay attention to where the fingers end on this line, right? It's always paying attention to where the placement is in relation to other things. That's how you can understand where your lines should start and where they should end, and how long or how short they should be. So now the sketch is done. We're gonna put down the opacity, or you can erase over the sketch lightly if you're drawing on paper. And we can move on to outlining the hand. For this, I always prefer using straight and edgy and geometric lines over using curved lines like this. This is what's gonna make your hands look more dynamic and just more precise overall. I like to keep my lines kind of loose and messy. I can always do a clean sketch on top of it if I need. And you can add a little bit of the details of the knuckles and the creases and the fingernails. Just make sure not to overdo it, because I find that the more details that you add, the more the hand can start looking crusty, and we don't want that. So you want to keep the details to pretty much a minimum. And with a little bit of cleanup and shading, got yourself a hand.